Chinese government decided earlier this year to auction some slots at 2 airports. It was a trial. However, we haven't had any certainty or security that they may not do that further to more airports. We hope they won't. However, we do estimate if that was to be rolled out not only in Chinese airports but globally, it would cost the airlines $7 million a day to acquire slots and operate them just to provide the schedules that 40–50% of the passengers want to fly. That would be $2.6 billion a year just to acquire the slots. So it is completely ridiculous to believe that all airports worldwide could go down the route of auctioning, but it is a significant concern even when one country looks at this. If Brazil insists on the continuation of their current slot regulation, which determines historic slots by factors beyond those we recognise in the WSG, they are currently using punctuality to link historics, as well as the use or lose it rule, which we all know, the grandfather rights. The airlines could then lose their slots at a Brazilian airport, but not actually lose the slot at the other end of the route, which could almost make that flight impossible to operate the season after. Brazil could lose out, but ultimately the passengers do as well. Recently, we've seen divergence from the process in North America. A coordinator didn't manage to allocate any of their slots in time for the conference, so the airlines turned up with a huge hole in their jigsaw. They didn't know what the slots were that they were going to have allocated at this airport. This hole is extremely challenging when you think that that could happen at many airports at the same time. We've also recently heard of a major airport using and promoting the size of aircraft to determine and prioritise initial slot allocation. This may appear to suit the needs of that individual airport that's particularly constrained. However, it does fail to recognise that airlines have commercial freedom as to which slots they operate and where, and also how they operate and in which metal. Regional and short-haul connectivity is often the loser in a battle for larger aircraft, which severely impacts passengers. And like the example of a restaurant, I don't think many of you would be happy to be told what you were eating when you made that reservation. Greenland recently declared 3 airports as coordinated, and this is another example of divergence where the proportionality rule hasn't really applied. Most of these 3 airports were very local and isolated in issue, and the slot coordination being applied has unfortunately caused the airlines a lack of flexibility and really a lack of solution. So they've been left with schedules that are compromised because of not following the WSG. So in summary, challenges in the slot allocation process today are primarily divergence from the process globally, unique rules. Our objective is to ensure that the WSG maintains its effectiveness and relevance as the single global process for slot allocation and management now and in the future. One flight connects 2 airports and they need to work to the same rules. States, airlines, airport operators and slot coordinators, along with other industry stakeholders, are fundamental partners with us in managing and delivering robust airport slot rules, so that the benefits of a single global process can be supported by everyone and recognised by governments globally. There should not be opportunities for one party to unilaterally influence this process or change the rules single-handedly. Global consistency is critical to ensure that this complex jigsaw of arranging slots into a workable schedule is the same to all congested airports worldwide. The solution continues to be the WSG, which will evolve with the industry to ensure it can continue to optimise this limited airport capacity for all.